overwhelming success of Legally Blonde turned Reese Witherspoon into one of the most sought-after actresses in Hollywood. With her comic sensibilities and romantic appeal, Reese was up to her neck in offers.
You think about all of the scripts in Hollywood, everything that must come across her desk. Reese Witherspoon is the A-list star. Reese cherry picks the projects that she's interested in, but they're projects that succeed.
This is so exciting.
Rather than play it safe, Witherspoon followed up Legally Blonde with something more challenging, an adaptation of Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest.
It was really a challenge. The English accent in particular was very difficult. And so I spent a lot of time working on that, and I try to just sort of challenge myself. I have sort of a rule of thumb that if something seems frightening and horrible, I should probably do it. If it makes me scared, I should probably go for it.
Just because Reese is such a graceful actress doesn't mean that things aren't difficult for her. It apparently took her 3 months to master the British accent.
For a Nashville girl, joining Ernest's all-star English cast was like entering a lion's den.
She was starring opposite some of Britain's best actors, Colin Firth, Dame Judi Dench, Tom Wilkinson, Rupert Everett, and she was able to hold her own with this all-British cast.
They were great. So supportive and helpful, and except for Rupert and Colin, they kind of gave me a hard time the whole time. They're a little sassy, those two.
But if Reese was taunted for her southern accent, this wasn't the first time. In the early days of her career, it was seen as a liability.
Casting directors tell her, you have to lose your accent because she's from Tennessee. You're not going to work in this town if you have that thick accent. So she had to learn to lose her accent. And I think she really wanted to celebrate her roots in Sweet Home Alabama.
In 2002, Reese embraced her Dixie heritage with the mainstream romantic comedy Sweet Home Alabama.
We'll rise.
I was sort of attracted to the role because it mirrored the same things I was going through in my own life, which is, you know, sort of coming from a small town and moving to the big city and trying to make it, and, you know, having your personality change and whether or not it should.
One person got to see the changes in Reese firsthand. The director of Sweet Home Alabama, Andy Tennant, worked with Reese 10 years earlier on Desperate Choices.
From 15 years old to 25 is a huge threshold. She was bright, funny, professional, and dedicated at 15. She's bright, funny, dedicated, professional at 25, but she's also found herself, and she's grounded, and she's juggling a tremendous amount.
Hollywood embraces Reese because she's accessible. You know, she's warm, she's funny, she's someone you would run into. She's absolutely beautiful. She's talented and believable as an actress. I had a great time with her. We had good chemistry. We played around a lot. That just comes off on screen that you see that.
Among the hardest scenes to shoot was the bar scene, where Reese's character gets blind drunk.
It's not like anybody can keep a secret around here. Except for Bobby Ray.
Now, what did I ever do to you?
You never did anything to me, darling. Or any other girl in town.
Melanie, what is the matter with you?
What do you mean?
Oh, she's just unhappy. Well, of course I would be too if Women's Wear Daily called me less than mediocre.
That drunk scene took about 6 days to film.
She outs her friend in a bar. That's a really horrible scene. He should hate her forever for that, really.
Why don't you just go to a gay bar?
Well, I think I had about enough fun for one night.
Oh, come on, I was just kidding.
It's hard to come out of the makeup trailer with all your friends, and you go to the set, and then you get in that place of I'm just gonna cut you to the quick, and I'm gonna find your weakness. That wasn't the fun part of the movie.
On opening weekend, Alabama grossed more than $35 million. Ample justification for Reese's reported $5 million paycheck. Even her co-star agreed Witherspoon was worth every penny.
Reese is in an amazing position because she's now one of, 2 or 3 people in Hollywood, particularly female, who can do this thing of opening a movie like this. And also, she's rare in the sense of she's such an extremely gifted performer. She's not just a movie star. She's very much an actor's actor.
As the film's domestic revenues topped $125 million, Reese was hailed as the next Julia Roberts, not to mention America's newest sweetheart.
It's certainly very flattering. I really appreciate it. I mean, it's certainly nice to have goodwill. But I kind of just I sort of think of myself as a working actor, and I just kind of go role to role and look for the roles and movies I want to see and stuff like that. So.
And if America wants, so they got to come through me first.
But there was someone else who had dibs even ahead of Ryan, the couple's 3-year-old daughter, Ava.
We lived in the same building. I ring for the elevator, and I hear somewhere deep in the bowels of this building this scream from hell. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I'm not a mother of a young child. And the scream gets louder and louder and louder and louder until it's like all shaking the building. And the elevator doors ding, and the doors open, and there's Reese Witherspoon with Ava just having a fit. And she's got a bag of groceries and a Starbucks and Ava. And the doors open, she goes, hi. And then the doors close, and she goes up, and Ava keeps screaming, and she's just, on the weekend, she was mom.
The couple still made sure one parent stayed at home. However, the escalating demands on Reese's time meant shifting more family responsibilities to Ryan.
Both he and I are very conscious about our schedules. We're really good with balancing that. I mean, he takes such good care of me while I'm working, and I like to think I do the same for him.
In the 3 years since the couple appeared together in Cruel Intentions, Witherspoon's paycheck per film increased 20-fold. Reese was at the top of her game. Unfortunately, that kind of success made her the target of rumors and speculation. Was everything okay at home?
Reese and Ryan have been married for 6 years, which is an eternity in Hollywood time. And that's probably why the tabloids continue to speculate on the state of their marriage. Reese sort of deals with the tabloids in a very classy way.
People suddenly go, oh, it's not the perfect Hollywood couple. She said, you know what, we're like any other couple. We have our ups and downs. We have arguments. We have loving times. We go to therapy, which was a huge shock, apparently.
Part of the reason people can relate to her is that she's not perfect. She says candidly, it's not easy.
Reese and Ryan weathered the storm.
A lot of people applauded her for saying, you know what, we had trouble like every couple out there. This is what we did to take steps to fix it, and we're stronger and the better couple today for it.
Throughout, Reese's popularity never wavered. Neither did her determination. Reese wanted more from Hollywood, so the star launched her own production company.
She realized there are more things I can do as a woman in this industry and give back than just be an actress. I mean, there are limitations to be an actor. And she figured, I've got some power here now. I might as well use it in a good way.
Reese's production company is named Type A Films, which is named after her childhood nickname because she was such a perfectionist, because she was striving all the time. Reese Witherspoon wants to go further in her career, not just for her own gain, but because she wants to take control, and she wants to have good roles, and she wants to have a choice of the roles.
While Reese was getting ready for Type A's first big release, she and Ryan had another big announcement to make. They were expecting their second child. In 2003, a pregnant Reese walked the red carpet to celebrate the triumphant return of America's favorite heroine, Elle Woods, in Legally Blonde 2.
Our production company worked very hard on the film. As a producer, Reese's contributions were invaluable. Many of the ideas in that film came from Reese Witherspoon.
On the set, Reese didn't go easier on herself just because she was the boss.
He had this really long speech. She did it 4 or 5 times until it was exactly the way she felt it should be. I had to applaud her for that because it was midnight and we were all trying to get home to our kids. But the fact that she stuck it out, it made it a better scene.
Good work can be its own reward, but nothing says thank you like a few souvenirs. As producer of the film, Reese had another stipulation in her contract. She got to keep 63 pairs of Jimmy Choo shoes once filming was completed.
Wouldn't you include that in your contract? Smart girl.
But the star also believed in giving something back.
Reese insisted on, in the merchandising, it would have to have some component to it that would be not just financial gain for a movie company and for Reese and those involved, but would actually have some charitable gain. And in fact, when Mattel issued its limited edition Elle Woods doll, a good portion of the proceeds from that went to charity.
Coming up, the downside of fame.
There is a price that comes along with being well known and being successful.